and Martin Tyler.
Yeah, wonderful, wasn't it, Richard? 31 goals Ronaldo, 14 goals Tevez, that's Premier League goals, 80 goals for Manchester United, 45 of them missing today, so to speak. For Wayne, it really is a big day.
I think there is time. Sometimes big players have to step up, even this early. And Sir Alex Ferguson touched on it in his interview, Martin. He doesn't want that sluggish start they got against Reading last year when they were a couple of bodies light. They're a couple of bodies light, big bodies at the top end of the pitch. With young Fraser Campbell in there, Wayne has it on his shoulders to say, listen, the emphasis is on me getting the goals that we need today when the three greatest rivals we think this year have all won this weekend.
Look at the whole Manchester United team. Edwin van der Sar starting his final season in the Premier League. Big decision at right back for Alex Ferguson. Wes Brown gets the vote over the fit again club captain Gary Neville. It's a midfield missing Anderson, Hargreaves, the suspended nanny Ronaldo, of course. But Michael Carrick, a substitute at Wembley a week ago, is fully fit and starts. Wayne Rooney's first game since picking up that virus in Nigeria, along with Fraser Campbell. Carlos Tevez withdrawn for family reasons. Campbell helped Hull into the Premier League, of course, last season. He plays in it today. 3 from 7 substitutes in the Premier League this season, and Manchester United's bench with no strikers, but Brazilian teenagers Rodrigo Possebon is a midfield player, and Rafael da Silva, who, like Gary Neville, is a right back.
Well, if you're missing a few attacking players, it's important to have your back four and goalkeeper playing for you. And this is the back four that did so well for them last season, along with Edwin van der Sar. So they have the basis to go ahead of that. We know that Fletcher not totally geared to play up and down, but will do. He'll work extremely hard, go in and get involved, and he'll play his job. And Giggs, of course, we know will roam from here. He is a threat going wide if he wants to, but he will drift infield, Ryan Giggs, and get involved anytime he likes to do that. Watch for Evra coming up the outside of him. Fraser Campbell, I guess, will be asked to stretch Newcastle, run over the top, run in behind. And if he does that well, then watch for Rooney just dropping off, getting the ball, picking it up, and then coming alive and coming to life. That looks to me like it might be the plan. Of course, Carrick and Scholes will be looking to pull the strings in that centre of midfield.
The Newcastle goalkeeper Shay Given last played in the Premier League against Manchester United back in February. He's edged out Steve Harper today. In the back four, a debut for Argentina international Fabrizio Collicini, whose transfer from Deportivo La Coruña was only confirmed on Friday, the same day that his fellow countryman Jonas Gutierrez got his final international clearance to play after his July move from Real Mallorca. Michael Owen and Mark Viduka not ready for the off, but Obafemi Martins is, with support today from Damien Duff. 17-year-old Ryan Donaldson is amongst the substitutes, and a summer signing, a defender from Metz defender Sebastian Basson.
Well, very quickly, teams are just about out, but today this system, it looks to me, with Damien Duff given the free role, he will be asked to supplement the midfield wherever he finds himself. When they lose it, I guess he'll drop back. You wouldn't expect him not to do that here. Obafemi Martins will be asked to produce some things. The one thing that I do think this side has got that it didn't have this time last season is a bit of pace and legs about it. And I think that's a big, big bonus for it this year.
So Newcastle United determined to do more than just make up the numbers. They were hit for 6 here in January and conceded 5 more to United at St James's the following month. Well, Manchester United have been topping the bill and playing to packed houses pretty much since the start of the Premier League. They're last on stage for this first round of new season fixtures. And the crowd here, greedy for more goals. Please, Manchester United start against Newcastle United, and it's live.
There as well, celebrating 10 years this weekend. Push the red button and follow the instructions to that. Commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thank you, Richard. Black armbands for Manchester United today in memory of Norman Davis, the long-serving kit man who passed away during the summer. Cristiano Ronaldo is still here. It's been a summer in which the unity at Old Trafford has been tested by the Ronaldo affair, but how united are Newcastle? Constant questions about the ownership, a split structure of management, injuries and illness to key players, not to mention the Joey Barton situation. Grand opera versus soap opera at Old Trafford. Pitch looking immaculate, as it should do on the opening weekend.
And both teams set up just as we thought they might be. Pretty much 4-4-2s. Be a lot of movement, a lot of interchanging.
There's Rio Ferdinand and Vidic. Here's the back four that served Manchester United so well for most of last season. And, Ferguson probably feeling that Gary Neville needs a bit more game time somehow, somewhere, before he can really press Wes Brown for a return at right back. Right back for Newcastle is Habib Beye, their player of the season last season.
That's the one thing they're going to have to do this year, is defend a lot better. First and foremost, Newcastle.
More goals please message carried a little bit of relevance in the recent form, not about last season of course. And down goes a man who'll be hoping to provide some today in his full Premier League debut, Fraser Campbell. Here as a substitute early last season.
Moves it nicely, you know, away from Colaccini here, there. Lovely piece of movement, completely fools him. Not the best thing, your first touch in the Premier League, giving away a free kick against Manchester United. About 24 yards from goal.
Ryan Giggs has a close look at it, but Rooney is there. Carrick, the boyhood Newcastle fan. Geordie is also there. And Paul Scholes as well, but it is Giggs. Oh, that's a strong appeal for handball by James Milner.
They all went up. Every United player facing that free kick went up as one. Make your own mind up here. James Milner, edge of the wall, up he goes. Certainly strikes the arm. It's travelled, what, 10 yards? We saw one given at Stamford Bridge earlier this afternoon against Pompey. It was a lot softer than that.
Well, it's amazing. Mike Riley has given 11 penalties in 16 appearances here at Old Trafford as a referee. 9 of those 11 for Manchester United. And he had the opportunity to continue that rather remarkable sequence.
I just think he must have had the question in his mind, because the distance the ball travelled, Martin. It's not as if it only travelled a yard or two.
Giggs again with a free kick. Shay Given punches well. Milner clears in orthodox fashion this time. Scholes. Nicely done by Rooney. Fletcher. Just in the state of too much anxiety, really, to put his foot through it.
Got a bit excited, I think, there. Darren Fletcher. Well, have a look again. Referee's looking pretty much the same angle we are here. He goes up, it comes from a long way. Strikes the left arm onto the right. You have to make your mind up. Could he have taken his arm out the way? It wasn't one of those venomous strikes that was travelling.
Andy, I don't want to put words into your mouth, certainly not early this season, but
go on, you might as well.
Penalty.
Yeah, OK. From what I've seen this afternoon, Mr. Tyler, Chelsea against Portsmouth, that's a penalty, yes.
Ricky Butt back on the familiar terrain.
And Paul Scholes back in business. 15 seasons in, still missed time in his tackles.
And he got away with, well, it's more a block, wasn't it? Should have been a second yellow card, we thought at the time, on that last day decider at Wigan that got Manchester United their 17th league title, one more to equal Liverpool's seemingly impregnable record. Here's Obafemi Martins. Just back from a family funeral in Nigeria.
Well, the one thing you know about Martins is you're not quite sure when he pulls the trigger where it's going. He can just as easily rattle it into the top corner as he can do what he did there, slice it high, wide and handsome. But you don't want to give him too many opportunities like that.
Martins trying to hustle Ferdinand into a mistake. It's not an easy thing to do. Ferdinand in the England squad that was announced yesterday, along with Wes Brown and Michael Carrick, who's been recalled after being out of favour for a year. Rooney's there as well. There's Damien Duff. And Colaccini, who's entitled to be a bit rusty. He's been in the country for a few days, but officially hasn't been allowed to train because he hasn't been formally declared a Newcastle player until Friday.
Must have done something somewhere, sure.
Well, I'm sure he has, but certainly not within the view of the cameras.
Yeah.
Gutierrez. Guthrie, signed from Liverpool, played in the Premier League for Bolton last season. Milner. Thoughtful ball back from Gutierrez, pursued with vigour by Milner. That's his style. But it went off him under challenge from Patrice Evra.
That's what Gutierrez will do, though, Martin. He will wander. He's a right-footed player playing on the left, and he will tend at times when he's got the ball to drive infield. But he will keep going. He will keep going when he's played the ball and join in.
It was interesting to see that Spider-Man celebration. That was a bit of a collector's item, because I think his record was something like 6 goals in 190 games. So
not brilliant.
Don't bank on him producing the mass today. But here's Rooney, maybe in for Campbell. Great save by Given. It seemed a certainty for Fraser Campbell. Given had other ideas. Rooney again. Taylor gets a defensive head to it that time, but Newcastle were cut apart by the earlier cross. Shay Given, who's been beaten so often by Manchester United down the years, came up with remarkable reactions. Martins, Gutierrez stretching the legs, Carrick trying to stay with him and struggling. Gutierrez going on, Vidic came across. Mike Riley challenged again, this time by Newcastle appeals.
Well, I think this is a foul, whether it's inside or outside the box. When you play it past and they're taken out like that and stop travelling on, it cannot be anything other than a free kick. Now, whether it was inside or out, that's another debate, but that's a free kick. And United, in all honesty, should be one up, because Fraser Campbell's just had an unbelievable chance.
Rooney. Fletcher coming to collect, might have tried to control it, but it went back to Brown. Rooney certainly looking for Scholes. Back to Rooney. Passing with pace here from Manchester United. But actually still lives in Manchester. A while since he's been a Manchester United player.
That's a really good ball from Danny Guthrie there. Lots of grass for Martins to run into. United high up the pitch. The goalkeeper well aware of it. Good goalkeeping, good starting position. But what a bright opening to this match.
Yeah, we found ourselves in the same hotel as Newcastle last night, and I must say there's an awful lot of optimism around the camp that it might be the right time to come. They didn't know then that Tevez was an absentee as well, nor did we.
Now watch this cross from Wayne Rooney. This is one of the best crosses you'll see all season, outside of the right foot. Watch this, look. What quality, right on the money. He's saying to Fraser, go on, young'un, make yourself a hero. There you go. Yes, people will say great save. Trust me, Shane knew nothing about that. Absolutely nothing.
He headed the ball rather better than the central defenders in front of him.
What a chance, though. Unbelievable cross from Rooney.
Well, it's been a very bright first 10 minutes of Manchester United's Premier League title defence. Attempt, of course, to replicate what they have done already, a hat-trick in the Premier League of champions. Here's Milner. ago, Reading came here and got a 0-0 draw, which looked a terrific result for them at the time. The season didn't end the way it started.
Yeah, it wasn't the best, was it, though? They came here, went man for man, all over the pitch. Yeah. Really stifled United and frustrated them.
Manchester United didn't score in the Community Shield, except in the penalty shootout. They didn't score here against Juventus in their last pre-season game. And they are missing Ronaldo and Tevez.
That was good little pressure there from Guthrie. It is important for Newcastle United that when these two who are on the ball now, that's Carrick and Scholes, is that they don't get time to collect the ball, lift their head and pick passes. It's important that pressure is put on, and it is at the moment. They're working hard to do that, just leaving the centre-backs with it.
That ball, not quite the best ball that they'll hope to produce, Manchester United, but turning the defenders, and Fraser Campbell off in a flash. He was his natural running ability. Helped Hull City, who are still hoping, I understand, to get him back to play for them in the Premier League before the August 31st deadline. That may depend on Manchester United. And so Alex Ferguson bringing in a major new striker. Berbatov, the question is still being asked. What I can tell you is that Manchester United will announce a new £10 million sponsorship tomorrow, which might go into the coffers if a bit of topping up is needed to get a target to come here before the window closes. Scholes. Butt against Giggs. Nice one. They just blocked by Campbell.
Any different from what Vidic did? Gutierrez, little block. Just the same.
Well, the difference was that it called for a bigger decision.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think we've been sitting here for long enough to know that that is a difference. But we still have plenty of respect for the referees, and it's being joined by this new FA campaign. Mike Riley, today's referee, actually was one of the speakers last week and spoke very eloquently about how he hopes the campaign goes. Oh, Butter's given it straight to Campbell. How costly is that going to be for Newcastle? Fletcher's ball in. Oh, Giggs misses his kick. Rooney might not. Wayne Rooney. It's given there again. Scholes is there. Given again. Carrick. And Newcastle, after being played into trouble by their own skipper today.
Now, that was a save. That was a save. The first one, particularly. Second one, you'd expect, that's what goalkeepers do. Get up with their feet very quickly after making a save.
Brown. Past Gutierrez. They like attacking a bit more than defending, but he's going to have to put his shoulder to the wheel in his own half of the pitch. And Zogbia breaking from left back. Martins has made an interesting run, but then checked, was he expected the ball to go wide to Duff. His run was designed over Femi Martins to pull defenders away from Duff.
Choices. Player on the ball had the choice, made the wrong one.
Both sides just making it such a good spectacle in these opening minutes of passing the ball quickly. Duff working with Milner and Bay. Been an easy call for Kevin Keegan to decide between Shay Given and Steve Harper, who filled in so well in the last 3 months of last season.
Yeah, but I think you have to as a manager. You make your mind up who's your number one, you have to. And he obviously feels that if they're both fit, they're both playing well, and Shay Given's my number one. And I don't think Steve Harper will have an argument with that. You know, he understands that if you're a goalkeeper, that's what happens.
He is the perennial understudy. 16th season with Newcastle. But Shay Given, who's ousted him today, has shown why.
Well, it was a catalogue of errors when it eventually fell to Wayne Rooney. They just had time to clear it. But that shot and getting down with that as close to his feet, to get down that quickly is a measure of the goalkeeper's quality. Then watch him up again, spreading his body, making the target a small one for Paul Scholes. Super stuff, Shay. Super stuff.
47 goals he's conceded in 18 games against Manchester United, Shay Given. And it could have been 50, couldn't it, by now?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Brown. Rooney, his first proper game as a married man. There have been new FA regulations for referees about the players now not allowed even to wear the smooth wedding rings, even taped up. That applied to Wayne. Scholes. It's more straightforward for Given.
Yeah, just off the end of his toe.
Well, it was 4 days after they shipped 6 here in Newcastle that they sent for the one-time Messiah to come back to St James's Park. He's lost none of his passion for the game, but I must say he's in a difficult circumstance. The way that Mike Ashley, the owner, chooses to run the club, with Dennis Wise and Tony Jimenez having a total say really in the players that come in. Kevin just manages those who are there.
It's very much a foreign field to it now, isn't it, at Newcastle?
Well, I hope it works for him, but it's not without problems.
Absolutely. I still find that one a strange one. You've got a coach and a manager in there. Surely his judgment and who he buys and who he sells is what you pay him for as well. What you have him in there to do.
Gutierrez. Duff. Milner. Keeping the ball with going a square across the pitch. Martins. Maybe it was aimed for Milner. So Brown has to step in. And Newcastle had good numbers forward.
Well, what are we? Coming up 20 minutes. They've rode the luck a little, Newcastle. You would have to say that, but overall, pretty impressed with the way they've set the stall out here. Haven't come here just to defend, just to soak it up.
Milner takes it. And, well defended by Giggs on his right side. Guthrie. They're left on the ground, and Newcastle left with the ball. By Colaccini looking for Martins. Back where it had come from by Ferdinand. And Stephen Taylor's still in there.
And I think he got under that a little, Stephen Taylor. Too much of an eye on Wes Brown. Not enough on the flight of the ball.
Taylor and Colaccini both needed to get back. Evra. 100th game for Manchester United today. Same applies to Vidic. Tevez missing out on what would have been his 50th appearance if you hadn't heard the earlier news. Let's go back to Argentina because of a family bereavement. Carrick. Evra. Going, but Scholes looks for Brown. Fletcher's cross. And Giggs was certainly in that crowd scene.
Little coming together with Habib Bey. But when it's floated in like that, you've got to be very, very fortunate. Bey just stands his ground. You're allowed to do that. Nothing wrong with it.
They missed some of pre-season. It wasn't easy for Newcastle. Put together a couple of decent results towards the end. PSV Eindhoven they drew with. Valencia they beat. But, they went to a tournament in Mallorca. He got no goals and no points in 2 matches. Here's Butt. And it's another Newcastle corner.
Yeah, nicely done. A big gap there, and Nicky Butt decided to make a little run into it.
And Manchester United switched off at the corner. Able to get a cross in, a bit of a fist out by Van der Sar. Taylor has turned back towards goal, which is deflected behind for another corner, and perhaps wasn't quite according to the defensive rehearsals at defending set plays.
That was a good attempt, but what on earth? I just don't understand Edwin van der Sar at 6'5". It's a dolly of a ball, dropping softly into his arms, catch it. What on earth he's doing punching it, I don't know.
Oh, and it's put in with great authority by Obafemi Martins. They didn't defend that corner well either.
Well, there you go. Now, I think if Van der Sar does his job in the previous corner, he comes and catches the ball, Martin, and Manchester United don't have a problem. But because he just flapped it down to the edge of the box, Taylor kept it alive. It gave them this opportunity in the corner, and what a stunning header this is. It is a beautiful header. Look at him. He doesn't do an awful lot. He wanders in. He gets off Darren Fletcher, who just lets him wander near post. But look at that for a header. Super direction, super power. And it's enough to take it flying past Paul Scholes on the goal line. And what a start this is for Newcastle.
This is the club that haven't beaten Manchester United here since 1972. They've given themselves a chance. It's topsy-turvy in celebration and in the script. As the kickoff is delayed because Stephen Taylor needed attention after that from David Henderson. Well, you can have players on the post, but if the headers are like that, Paul Scholes was left with no chance.
Super header.
Giggs with the cross. And missed by defenders and attackers.
Well, you just need to batten the hatches down just for a minute, just for 5 minutes. Stephen Taylor still having treatment on the sidelines. There's still a man down at the moment, Newcastle. United anxious to get right back in it as quickly as possible, trying to strike while they have the extra man.
And Fletcher! Down to 10 men. And they're no longer 1 goal down.
Well, it's a brilliant run across near post. I don't see that run as often as I'd like to. He had a quick look over his shoulder, Darren Fletcher at the linesman. That was his first look. As soon as he played it in, he looked down to this near side to see, am I offside? But as that ball comes in, you can say he's not. It's a beautifully timed run. It's a wonderfully placed ball by Giggs into an area that says, do you want a goal? And Fletcher said, yes, I do, thank you. And Newcastle can't hold on, they can't batten the hatches.
His first Premier League goal for some 18 months. But as one midfield player celebrates, another limps off for Manchester United. Michael Carrick, who would love to have made this a special day against his hometown club. It's a short day. The versatile John O'Shea will go into midfield. Tough for Newcastle with Stephen Taylor off the field. Well, Andy, when you said batten down the hatches, even with 11, it's not really Newcastle's way, is it?
No, but you know what I'm saying. Sometimes in a match you have to just say, listen lads, get behind the ball and just defend for all you're worth. And that's why I was saying they need to for 5 minutes. Now they've got Taylor back on. Now, would it have made a difference? I don't know, is the honest answer. We don't. We never will. But it would have helped them to have the centre-back in that sort of area, was where, as the right-sided centre-back, he would have been protecting that near post, you think.
Guthrie. Campbell testing out the technique of Nicky Button fouling him. Well, we had that delay while Stephen Taylor went off, and 45 seconds from the restart. 1-0 down became 1-1. That's what champions do. Zogbia. Guthrie can't quite rein it in, but able to reposition. It's a foul by Ryan Giggs. Well, having scored with one header, any set piece that can put the ball into the box will encourage Newcastle. Duff takes. Over at the second attempt, then Giggs. Rooney's only given it back to Duff. He has to take the ring road around Scholes. That's a fine ball by Milner. A shortage of numbers in the middle that time. Scholes. Rooney's gone to the left. Finally heard Alec Ferguson, Andy, admit what you've been saying for a long time, that Wayne Rooney needs to batten down a particular position. He's done too much for the team, and
I agree.
He could do even more for the team if he did more for himself, if you understand what I'm saying.
Absolutely, I agree. But I do think that, you know, the way the United played for a lot last season, with Rooney on the left, sometimes on the right, it was a system they wanted to use. I wonder if that'll change with Carlos Queiroz' departure, Martin. I mean, I think he had a huge influence in the way United played, although the manager obviously made the final decision. And I just wonder if we'll see more of this sort of system, with Wayne playing off a front man in an area where he can get more goals for himself.
That's a very valid point.
Well, it's been a good half hour, just about. Zipped along. A lot of open football.
Well, Darren Fletcher with a goal and a chance to remind you that Scotland are playing. Fletcher, of course, is Scottish. Scotland against Northern Ireland, Wednesday 7:30, Sky Sports 1 and HD 1. Same night, Wales against Georgia, Sky Sports 2 and HD 2. International football on Sky Sports for you. A bit tight for O'Shea. With butt around. Nicky Butt and Ryan Giggs, incidentally, extending their record as having played in every Premier League season. The first one, 92-93. Joined earlier by David James and Sol Campbell, who didn't have a very happy occasion at Chelsea. Here's Gutierrez. Diverted only as far as Milner by Vidic.
Well, you just wondered about Wayne there, didn't you? There was a little frustration here. Nicky Butt's tackle when he won the ball just there, and suddenly Wayne Rooney decides, I'm chasing. And I'm thinking, when's the tackle coming? And when he skipped past there, I thought, now. And it did. I think, fortunately for Wayne Rooney, Gutierrez was good enough just to jump out the way of it.
He's always under the microscope, isn't he?
Yeah.
Whatever aspect of his lifestyle, but certainly occasionally a bit of self-control required. He's just nudging it off to Brown. It's that run again that Campbell loves to make. Good footwork from Brown. He had his best season as a Manchester United player last season because of the misfortune of Gary Neville. Vidic. Zogbia. Dangerous team to give the ball away to, Manchester United, in that part of the pitch. It's a good tackle by Colaccini on Rooney. Milner. Work his way beyond O'Shea.
Well, they'll do that, James Milner. You know that.
He's in the under-21 squad again. He's already got 36 under-21 caps. Vidic taking it back into trouble. They certainly play with pace, Manchester United, and with some penetration, but they haven't had things all their own way. The two clubs united at 1-1. Brown. Rooney. Campbell doing well on the chase back. Newcastle has some resilience of their own. Sparkling Sunday, first of the Premier League campaign. Lots of goals about. Thinking of sport elsewhere, Colaccini has an Olympic gold medal from 4 years ago with Argentina, along with Carlos Tevez. Couldn't share those memories today. Fletcher. In comes Giggs. Put a lot of effort into the jump and not too much into the header.
Well, James Milner just might have done enough at the back of him, just a little nudge, just as he's making contact with the header. Well a bit offside. In fact, he was offside. A good distance, Darren Fletcher there. Linesman didn't see it. You see them asking.
It's unusual these days to see Ryan Giggs play wide left of a 4 in midfield, isn't it? He's been used mostly in pre-season and off the front. Nani suspension runs one more game after this, which is not until a week tomorrow when Manchester United play at Portsmouth. And he will complete his suspension by sitting that one out as well. He was sent off here against West Ham, you might recall. Ronaldo's doing well with his recuperation, but it'll still be a while. Fletcher. Evra. Rooney. Manchester United were only in Nigeria for some 18 hours, so he was pretty unlucky to pick up that virus in July. A full week's training prior to his comeback today.
Yeah, looks bright enough, doesn't he?
He actually trained with the squad down in the London area before the Community Shield a week ago. Wayne asking the manager to play in that game, but he wasn't involved. Colaccini involved with the header.
There does seem a lot more confidence. I'm talking about Newcastle now, about their confidence in passing the ball about. Well, they're certainly not dominating it, but when they've had it, they've looked comfortable with it. They've looked happy to use it. As we would expect, United probably dominating possession.
I guess the test will come if they go behind.
Yeah, of course.
And memories for some of near humiliation at the expense in their matches against Manchester United last season. Giggs. Evra. Bay. Comes out to Scholes. And Rooney was trying to deflect it goalwards. Almost another reflex save needed by Given. Certainly the first one off Habib Bey. Bailed out the right back.
Not sure where this is going. But he felt he had to deal with it. But Wayne Rooney definitely tries to deflect it back on target. Little unlucky. Good reactions.
Rooney and Scholes have both filled their boots, as they say, against Newcastle in the past. Certainly no place in the starting lineup for former Manchester United player Alan Smith for Newcastle. He's on the bench. Look at the possible move to Everton. It's totally dead yet. Contact by Ferdinand on Gutierrez.
Another chance for both centre-backs to trot forward.
Milner takes. Better work at the back. United then. Vidic.
Wrong place, about 10 yards, 15 yards from the wrong place. So Newcastle should get the throw.
I mentioned that year 1972, Andy, was the last year Newcastle beat Manchester United here. Obviously not what Wayne Rooney's talking about in this respectful times with the referee, but also 1972 was the last time Manchester United lost a home game, first game of the season. It's to Ipswich. Duff working hard to protect it here and getting around Evra, who brings him down.
They collected that really well. Milner fizzed it into Duff. I'm not too far away from him.
If they can get Damien Duff back to, remember he won 2 Premier League medals with Chelsea.
Absolutely.
At the expense of Manchester United. I think getting back to his best. His free kick. Awkward for O'Shea. Van der Sar prevents the corner. Duff. Licence to roam in support of Obafemi Martins, who gave Newcastle an unlikely lead here. Within a minute, Darren Fletcher had equalised. Zogby. 5 minutes left in the first half at Old Trafford. Scholes. Campbell, one very good chance early on.
Yeah, might have been better sorting his feet out and shifting that to Fletcher, who was wide.
Gutierrez has shown some promise. Decent ball into Martins. Right to get it on his left foot. To be able to stand on both feet to the crucial moment. Giggs trying to get away. Support from Evra. Picked off by Butt. Zogbia stepping in. Scholes dispossesses him. Giggs. Campbell just pulled away. Rooney's in the middle. Fletcher's getting there.
Not so sure what Colaccini could have done there. There he's pointing. Guess what he's pointing Gutierrez there? I think he's pointing to a little earlier in this match. To a situation not unlike that one. They're all asking that question.
Gutierrez speaks very good English. Colaccini less so.
That's what he's asking.
I don't think anyone, even the referees and Keith Hackett and his department, are saying that the players can't ask the question. It's just the way they do it. It's a culture of questioning officials in football.
Well, I know Kevin Keegan will ask a question in the tunnel at half-time. Should United take the lead as a result of this free kick?
Certainly an issue. Giggs. No, shall not pass. Nicky Butt. He's there again. Nicely taken down by Evra. Ferdinand giving the width. O'Shea's giving it straight to Damien Duff, which he might do in an international, but not when Manchester United are playing Newcastle. Scholes. I think Mike Riley could have seen that. He was square on with Milner.
No, got a linesman looking at it, mind you, at that side.
Fletcher. Brown can continue his run. Gutierrez did get back.
I'd say 45 minutes of watching Gutierrez. Sometimes the lads come from abroad, they're not in tune with this league. And they tend to do all the good things going forward, but maybe they're a little reluctant to get back and fill in. Not a sign of that from Gutierrez. He's been willing and able to get back in there and helping Zogbia time and time again. It's a good sign. You just feel it's really important for Newcastle United to see this half out now. Just under a little bit of pressure as we approach half-time.
Some misplaced words from Fletcher. But when you think Newcastle got less than half as many points as Manchester United last season, they conceded 3 times as many goals. I know this is the first day and first weekend. We're brought up with some unusual results. But there'll be plenty of you watching, surprised to us being on the verge of half-time here at Manchester United 1, Newcastle United 1. Giggs trying to change that before the half-time whistle goes with help from Rooney. It's only 1 added minute. As Guthrie gets in well. And works nicely with Duff. The club supposedly riddled with problems. I'd say there's and some confidence to Newcastle's play.
I agree. I said that. They look confident on the ball. They look happy to manoeuvre it under a little bit of pressure.
O'Shea on for Michael Carrick. Evra. Scholes. Dying seconds of the first half. Brown puts it in and given flies through the air, not with the greatest of ease. Not a good parry, an important one because it's preserved parity at half-time, and Newcastle have worked hard for that. The goalkeepers helped them from time to time. A splendid header by Obafemi Martins gave them the lead. They'll be furious that they couldn't keep it. There were extenuating circumstances. Stephen Taylor off getting treatment when Darren Fletcher nipped across to the near post to equalise. Mike Riley's had 1 or 2 penalty appeals to deal with as well, but he's smiling, and at half-time it's 1-1.
Jamie Redknapp and Dion Dublin are with us. We've got the season's first hat-trick. Tell you about that in a moment. 1-1 here. How well have Newcastle done?
And started to play some decent football and got their goal through their change of play.
Got their goal, Jamie, as Andy pointed out, following an unusual decision from Edwin van der Sar in this situation.
I mean, so they were sloppy there, Richard, even from the short corner. That Man United didn't get players out quick enough. Look, he's under no real pressure there. It's Nicky Butt who's about 5'9" underneath him, so if he catches that ball, there's no real danger. Look, Nicky Butt gets underneath him, but this is such a good leap. Darren Fletcher gets caught, doesn't attack the ball, but he is so high. I don't even think if he would have attacked it. Look how high Obafemi Martins gets. That is incredible leap, isn't it?
There's no way he can come and get that.
Look at this leap, Dion. Look, unbelievable.
And he's right not to come for that. There's no chance of getting on. The first one, there's no pressure. Now, if a centre-half heads a ball like that, and then they score after that, the goalkeeper's going to go mad at his centre-half. Centre-half's, Rio should have been right in his face and saying, hold it a minute, next time that happens, catch it. Simple as that. And I think he's started something that shouldn't have happened.
And the problem they had from there was Stephen Taylor got injured, didn't he, from the corner? Yeah. They're trying to readjust then.
45 seconds after the
that
restart.
ball there, we didn't just see it. Paul Scholes changed the point of attack so quickly. They got the ball out wide. Ryan Giggs whips it in, and it's such a good run from Darren Fletcher. But if Stephen Taylor would have been in that area, he would have been in there defending. I don't care, you can turn around, you can play Milner right back, and you bring Abdibayi in to be a centre-half. It's not quite the same. It's not. People aren't quite in that mode of being a centre-half, are they?
He's right in the centre-forward's position. It's a hard thing to defend. The ball was perfect, just in behind the back four, and Fletcher's run was absolutely timed to perfection.
We've got Dermot Gallagher as a guest on The Last Word at 6:30. It'll be interesting to see what he says about these two decisions. Your view, Jamie, on this would be what?
I don't think this is. I think he jumps and it hits him in the hand. He could have got his arm out the way, but not for me. No, not for me.
Yes or no, Dion?
Definitely, yes.
Hand to ball.
Yeah, hand to ball. His arm is on his chest.
It hits his right arm first,
His arm's
though,
on
doesn't
his
it?
chest. Well, his arm's on his chest here, and then he brings it down to the ball. So I think yes.
What about this?
I'll tell you what about it. This guy's been sensational in the first half. Gutierrez. I think it's a definite foul. I think it's just outside the box, though.
I'll agree with that.
But he didn't even give a foul, so it wasn't even a free kick just outside, Dion, was it?
Exactly. The thing is, as well, he could have got on the end of the ball, so he should have got something for that. It's not as if he overhit the ball. He could have got onto it. So I think a free kick outside the box would have been fair.
Gabi Agbonlahor has scored the season's first hat-trick for Aston Villa. Last player to do that on the opening day was who? Dion Dublin. For Coventry back in 1997. How pleased is he? Give you the score and the details from Villa Park. Bad afternoon for Mark Hughes. That's next. Dublin's face. But perhaps bittersweet, Dion, because Gabi Agbonlahor's stolen your record today, hasn't he?
Yeah, he can.
1-0, 2 minutes into the second half. Carew with that.
What a cross, Ashley Young.
Penalty for Manchester City. That bright, what is it, orange?
Yeah, another great.
That's still the fastest, that 4.5 minutes. Late consolation for City. 4-2 it finished. Chorluka with his first goal for them. Final score earlier. Chelsea beat Portsmouth by 4-0. What are Villa capable of, Dion, in your opinion, this season?
Well, just judging by the quality of the goals, they've got every chance of getting in that top 6, I think. But it's all about consistency, as we know. And if you win a game and you lose 2 or 3 and you draw, then you're not going to do it.
You say top 6. Might they be the one from outside the traditional top 4 to break in?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I mean. Yeah, I think they've got a great chance of doing that. But Gareth Barry had a hand in, you know, 2 or 3 goals there, as Jamie just pointed out, and I think there's quality players like that you need to keep in the team.
It's early to say, but from what I've seen this weekend, no one's getting into that top 4. They're different class. The top 4 are by far and away better than anyone else. Arsenal, Manchester United, Chelsea and Liverpool, it's an absolute certainty. Villa will probably be the closest, but I don't think anyone's breaking into that top 4 now or even in the next couple of years by the look of it.
Be interesting to see Manchester City next week, won't it? On the back of that.
Well, we're getting to an incredible stage where we're putting people under pressure already. You noticed it with them. That's why I was so pleased for Blackburn yesterday. A great result for Paul Ince. Manchester City, there seems to, you know, the people trying to cause problems there as well at the moment. Villa are a good side, though, aren't they? It's not an easy place to go first day of the season.
He came here under pressure. Sorry, Dion. Kevin Keegan today, but so far a very buoyant 45 for Newcastle United. One apiece it is. Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Well, new season means a fresh start, and Newcastle will be hoping, Richard, to improve on last season when 2/3 of the goals they conceded in the Premier League came in the second half of matches. They've certainly been competitive in the first half here. As the second half gets underway.
I don't expect to see any change in any of the systems or anything that both teams are trying to do at this moment in time.
Gutierrez. Now Guthrie. Newcastle made an outstanding start to their season a year ago when they won 3-1 at Bolton, and Sam Allardyce, his first game in charge. Obafemi Martin scored 2 then. And scored again here.
It's always great if you're a front man. You know that goals are your game. And you get off to a quick start like Martins has done, like Anelka has done, like Torres has done. It's a fantastic feeling.
And if you've seen Sam Allardyce standing in front of the Newcastle fans that day at the Reebok, you can imagine for 1 minute that he wouldn't be Newcastle manager for more than a few months. But he's here today. And I'm sure he'll be back in management soon.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Brown. Scholes. In terms of attacking play, really, Manchester United, if they're going to turn this into a win, they've got to do it with the players who are on the pitch now. There's not much scope for change. The nominated substitutes, one of whom's been used, John O'Shea on for Michael Carrick. We'll wait to find out whether Carrick's been pulled out of the England squad because of the early departure today. Giggs. Suffering with an ankle injury. Good reach by Taylor.
I just wonder, cross from Giggs, near post blocked off by Taylor. What was missing on the United goal? Because it was a cross from Giggs, but the near post wasn't protected by Taylor because he was off the pitch.
Near post again towards Ferdinand from the corner from Giggs. Never allowed to advance and pick a ball out towards Vidic, who can be so dangerous aerially. He's got away with that, Newcastle.
Yeah, just about. You just wonder, certainly on the evidence of last season, maybe we shouldn't, but you always have to with Newcastle if they get put under a little bit of pressure. And it's concerted pressure. Their ability to keep it going for any length of time. That'll be the test for them, you feel, in the second half. As you've got to feel United will up the ante a little. We'll start to turn the screw, we'll try and ask a few more questions.
A bit of a collision there between Colaccini and Rooney has left Newcastle's debutant centre-back just flexing his around his left collarbone. Milner. Drops the Scholes. That's it from Giggs' back heel. Nice passing by Manchester United. Continues Brown to Rooney. Great work by Butt.
That was a super piece of play, you know, and if Wayne Rooney had gotten that out his feet in front of him on his first touch, then I think Nicky Butt wouldn't have been getting there, and Wayne Rooney would have been taking a shot at goal. Lovely piece of play, though. It's a good run.
Diagonal ball by Butt to Martins. Duff's in support, Milner as well. Martins loves a lash at goal with either foot. There's plenty of venom in that strike.
A little bit better than the one they had early in the first half that he hit high, wide and handsome. This one at least works the goalkeeper.
But saying get to that to Gutierrez.
And dragged Rio Ferdinand wide.
Zogbia. Still wide, but doing the job.
I think the good thing for United when they play with these players is that if Rio Ferdinand does get drawn wide like that, then Wes Brown just tucks in from his right-back position, fills in at centre-back. Nothing new to him.
Well, they scored from a corner, Newcastle. They are 5 minutes into the second half, looking, if they can, to regain the lead at Old Trafford. Are able to claim.
And John O'Shea very aware of Martins' ability to jump all over him there at that near post.
Giggs. He's tripped in Zogbia, who stopped, which was not the thing to do. Rooney back for Giggs. And it was Stephen Taylor who came in between a number of red shirts to win an important header.
Well, as a defender, you know, all you can do is take a position there and hope that the decision you made and where you stand gives you the ability to head the ball clear. And that's what happened. You were right, surrounded by 3 United players, but he was the one who was able to hit it.
Martin, speculation in the summer that he might be moving on, with Arsenal being mentioned. Bay. Newcastle finished last season with a 3-pronged attack. Mark Viduka, Michael Owen and Obafemi Martins. It worked very well for Kevin Keegan. Only Martins available today, just as Rooney out of Ronaldo, Tevez, and Rooney is the only one playing for Manchester United. Campbell getting a chance because of that. Gutierrez, and he made the point in honestly, the first half. And
I can't tell you, you know, first game in this level, in this league, and his work rate in helping his team defensively has been fantastic.
They've had a couple of Argentines before Newcastle in their Premier League years. Christian Basidas and Daniel Corone. They didn't play 50 games between them, but the suggestion is that Colaccini and Gutierrez might make longer representation. Here's Milner.
Just a little shy in getting people ahead of the ball when they've got it here.
Guthrie has a go.
Yeah, there was nothing really on. I mean, when Milner had it wide, he's looking in, and there was nothing really on. They've had to work it across the pitch again.
I think it might be an oversimplification, Andy. Go back to what I said in the first half, to say Kevin Keegan has nothing to do with the transfer policy. I'm sure he has discussions, but there is another department to facilitate the deals.
Yeah, you wouldn't be surprised if the manager, the man who's coaching the team, wasn't consulted about who might be brought in and who might be sold.
Scholes. Each passing minute for Newcastle represents a triumph here. It'd be a wonderful result if they could start this season with a point at Old Trafford. A long way to go, but just wondering, Rooney hasn't played much football recently. Resting on the shoulders of Ryan Giggs, of course, and young Fraser Campbell.
What he hasn't today, Sir Alex Ferguson, as he stands down there, he hasn't the option to change. You've mentioned it. You think of Manchester United, first game of the season, you look at the substitutes bench, look at the names you're looking at.
Gary Neville, right back. Rafael da Silva, right back. John O'Shea's already on. Johnny Evans, centre-back. Darren Gibson, midfield. Rodrigo Possebon, midfield. There's the goalkeeper, Thomas Kujak. Gary Neville will be bursting to get back into the Premier League.
And it looks like the captain's got a problem today. Certainly Ryan Giggs has indicated that he has.
With Rob Swire, the physio. Fortunately for Manchester United, they've got an 8-day gap before the next Premier League game, and then they're off to Monaco for the Super Cup against Zenit St. Petersburg, with the next Premier League fixture postponed. And Taylor will give it everything. He's been ever present through the pre-season campaign.
Always amazes me when you get a free kick, you know you're going to aim it at Taylor. Why you don't have a player just coming around the back of Taylor just to pick up a ball like that we've just seen. But they're happy enough at the moment. The lads have made and lassies who have made the journey from the northeast.
I think they're always happy.
Yeah.
They are liking what they're seeing. Great devotees of Kevin Keegan, that's for sure. Campbell, though. Manchester United trying to get in front for the first time in the Premier League this season, I think we can say.
And you can definitely say that.
Rooney. Here's O'Shea. Eyes of get up, I think, from maybe the goalkeeper, Shea Given. Campbell was quick, a bit too quick for Nzogbia. And Given has to save because of that.
Lovely touch and turn. And Fraser Campbell here. There's a control, that's the turn. And very quickly takes the shot on. Again, Given. I think one of the best shot stoppers in Premier League history, Shea Given. He's up to it. Fist pump. Come on, lads.
Up for the corner, Vidic. Here's Brown. Fletcher's cross. And we'll see what he was trying to do. Always reaching back. A disagreement between the captain and the man who will be captain if Giggs goes off, and it's not, I guess, Gary Neville coming on. See where the armband ends up in those circumstances. Gary Neville would have prior claim, and I must say, just in passing, he showed tremendous character to be around Manchester United with a personal disappointment. He didn't kick a ball in the Premier League last season. Played a few minutes here in midfield in a Champions League game. Around the April mark. That was his contribution to Manchester United's wonderful season.
They've just turned it back on this.
Gutierrez defending well again. buying Newcastle a bit of time and showing a bit of strength as Giggs trying to be slippery past him.
And that's good. If you're under pressure a little bit, first Gutierrez and then Martins winning a free kick on the halfway line. Gives your defenders a little breather, get themselves right.
But we'll just hear from Gutierrez after the game. He's certainly got the language to talk to us. So he's made of first appearance in the Premier League. Here's Rooney though. Not sliding in, it ran for Evra. Rooney, his sort of range, blocked by Colaccini.
Well, they've been less of a threat. That's the one thing I would say Newcastle in the second half. The difference. Defended better, defended well, but they've had less of a threat going forward. I don't know whether that's just because United have upped it a little bit.
Even by Obafemi Martins' standards, that's fairly optimistic.
He does like a shot, doesn't he?
Well, this is Rodrigo Possebon, who's going to be given the responsibility here of trying to tilt this opening fixture for Manchester United their way in the last third of the game. Giggs. Well executed pass. And Gutierrez filling his slot and serving his side well. Almost for Fletcher. Again coming in from the wider position. But Newcastle have drawn here before in the Premier League under Kevin Keegan in his first spell in charge. And also drew here Manchester City the last time Kevin brought a side here in 2004. Duff, Gutierrez, Milner has a crack.
Little touch, little nick. It could only have been that. It looked like it went straight over. But he has to get out his feet very quickly. It's not the best ball across to him here. He has to just touch and hit. He has to just nicked off Paul Scholes on the way through.
Guthrie to take the corner. But trying to work the position. Oh, Martins! I was a bit surprised that it dropped his way.
I wonder if it would have been a free kick. John O'Shea's asking about a push at the near post. Mike Riley seemed to indicate to me that yes, he had seen it, but he just wouldn't bother with it. So I think that's probably saved Obafemi Martins.
So Giggs off. And Rodrigo Possebon, who's been winning admirers here with his passing skills. Born in Brazil, has an Italian passport. And there's a substitute who didn't get on at Wembley last week. He's on now.
And a little shuffle for Manchester United, it looks like. John O'Shea dropping into left back. Patrice Evra moving forward. And Possebon, yeah, you see, will play alongside Paul Scholes.
Doing on his side what Gutierrez has been doing so well. On the opposite flank, here's O'Shea. Evra. Well, he did well to beat Colaccini to the ball. The cross, Campbell. Now he's got a problem as well.
That's a difficult one. Cross is slightly behind him. Gets good purchase on the header. Just can't find an angle on it. I hope that's cramp and not a pull. This can happen. It happens often in the opening day. People get little strains and niggles and pulls.
Evra. You might remember, Andy, Wayne Rooney went off with a broken foot in the first game against Reading here last season. I hope that's not the same for Fraser Campbell appeals for the crowd, but the ball had gone out for a corner that the assistant didn't flag for. Manchester United didn't win any of their first 3 games in the Premier League last season. Lost their way to Manchester City, particularly painful. Drew at Portsmouth when Cristiano Ronaldo was sent off. Paul Scholes scored in that game. And they still went on to the cream of the crop at the end. Possible. There goes Manchester United's way. We've got more than 25 minutes. Scholes. Gutierrez wants it back from Martins, gets it back from Martins. Vidic roaring across. The long legs of Jonas Gutierrez, but homing in on him was Vidic. He got his man.
Misplaced pass from Paul Scholes, and his team are in big trouble. Just thought to get a little excited, Gutierrez. But that touch there, that was the one that gave Vidic the opportunity to make that tackle. Thought he maybe should have just slowed him up a little bit and then gone again.
Newcastle sensing again that this could be their day. And the Sar only down to Gutierrez. Put off his shot by Rooney.
And Taylor was close to that as well, near post. Made a decent run in there. Level all over. Attempts, maybe not on target. Certainly the one that matters.
Nicely worked to Wes Brown. Out comes a Manchester United corner, and the volume is turned up at Old Trafford.
It's one of those occasions as well. When do Newcastle accept 1-1 and try and protect it and drop deeper and deeper and deeper? Because it will happen if it stays like this.
Right on the corner. Fletcher's way. Scholes, a touch and a shot. He's got a hat-trick at Newcastle's expense on his career record.
Well, he has the time. And for him, and for his ability, he'll be a little disappointed that, you can see he is. He didn't work Shea Given.
9 goals in his last 10 appearances against Newcastle. Newcastle fans would have been going, oh no, not again, as he lined it up.
Well, I think both coaches now as well, both managers, are looking at 3 quarters in and thinking, my team, fitness levels, what they're like, who's showing a little bit of fatigue, where do I need to maybe change it? Kevin Keegan has been a lot of this game, his team haven't had the ball, and that's hard work. So he'll be having a look around the pitch, seeing if there's anywhere he thinks he might have to freshen it up.
Quick reminder about our international fare for you on Wednesday. Scotland against Northern Ireland, that's Sky Sports 1 and HD1. Wales against Georgia, Sky Sports 2, HD2, Wednesday from 8. Milner. But risky. Aaron Zogbeer has played as a winger. That's not really the place to show off your skills. He got away with it.
Yeah. Wes Brown turned away from that pass as soon as it left his foot. He knew it had too much on it.
There's again talk in the summer that Nzogbeer might be leaving St James's Park. don't think there are any firm offers for him. So he's knuckled down. He's got the left-back slot ahead of Jose Enrique. O'Shea. He was a bit lucky that was collected by Fletcher. Guthrie. And Zogbia. Back up from Gutierrez. Duff. And they're easily dispossessed that time by Brown. And Rooney's on the move. And Campbell. Promise just evaporated. Actually, the warmest part of the day, or to be more accurate, it's the warmest part of the day in one half of the pitch.
Yeah.
Silva, one of the very intriguing young twins here at Manchester United, who only recently got permission to play when they passed their 18th birthday. Rafael and Fabio. This will be the last permitted change by Sir Alex Ferguson, which will disappoint Gary Neville. Fletcher. Evra's in the middle. There goes Ferdinand. Gutierrez. Kept their nerve, Newcastle. To do some defending, but been very few moments where Manchester United have really threatened. Gutierrez kept going, and no concerted Newcastle appeals.
No, he knew it wasn't a free kick. In fairness to the boy, he got up very quickly. Wasn't looking for anything from Mike Riley.
Another tick for him, isn't it?
It was a little opportunity for Newcastle to make something happen. As I say, it's been more a half of containment for them in the second half. They haven't gotten forward. There's been as much of a threat as they were first half. But when you come to a ground where your record's awful and you haven't won for so long, then when you get to this stage in the game and you're level, then I'm not surprised to see them drop off a little, try and protect what they have.
Looked like Evra was just winning that race. Oh. That's what he thought as well. But what Newcastle, I would think, Andy, what do you think that they have to just play the occasion and not the history?
Yeah.
Play the players that are out there.
Difficult though sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. And Rooney's out there, and that spells danger, as Nicky Butt recognised.
Well, Nicky Butt was the reason that Rooney had the ball, because they were a little sloppy. Nicky Butt in an area where he should have been a bit more decisive. He got his pocket pinched.
That's Vidic. Oh, and it's off the bar. And Ferdinand is there, and that's as close as Manchester United have come to getting in front.
Well, these are the reason you don't want firm pitches. But look how high that bounces. We do have a player on the line. But a foot lower, and maybe James Milner, I think it is, isn't getting that.
Vidic is the latest to need first weekend attention.
Little chat again with the referee. This is the one he gets through, and then, well, he does make the most of it, but to be fair to him, I think he realised that and gets up very quickly. Didn't make anything of it. You know, had he kept going, look at the balls run. Just in behind beautifully for him.
On the limp. And off the pitch at the moment.
Yeah, he'll have to take the corner without him.
So Shea by Colaccini. Newcastle were only briefly down to 10 men, but it cost them a goal. It's a team of 10 attacking here. Rooney. Taylor in the way. And Zogbia.
And the one thing you would say about United, they've just got to be a little careful in the pursuit of the winner. They don't leave a little bit of space at the back, because with Martins there, he's got the pace to hurt you. That's a foul.
It's a free kick that really Zogbia didn't have to give away. And it's allowed Nemanja Vidic to get back on.
And they get a bit tired, players. And I think that leads to lazy tackles and unnecessary free kicks. And you just feel if they keep giving away corners, free kicks at this sort of angle, United will make them pay.
Rooney. It is Zogbia who squeezes it out to Guthrie. A decent choice in the end. The back pass was being anticipated. Fletcher. Guthrie and Zogbia. And brimming with determination. Guthrie, but
well, this isn't doing Newcastle any harm, this little bit of possession on the far side.
I think the 75 minutes generally, Andy's done Newcastle no harm, has it? So it's been a spirited showing. Big regret would be that they didn't lead for longer. And the 45 seconds from the restart to equaliser.
That would be fair.
Card is coming out, is it? No? Yes, it is for Fraser Campbell. And Rooney's chipped in with the assistant. Campbell clearly the culprit. Rooney acts as his barrister.
Well, this is one he loses the ball there, doesn't quite get it, and he lunges in. I think it's the way he tackled him, I think, as much as anything. You know, when they leave the floor like that, little lunge.
Forwards challenge.
That usually gets him away with it, doesn't it? When I see that.
Yeah. I bet you got away with a few on that basis.
Well.
Yeah. Until they work you out, the referees. 12 minutes for Manchester United to work out Newcastle and avoid dropping 2 home points. Reading, as I mentioned in the first half, drew here on the opening weekend of last season. And Manchester City came here and won later on in the campaign. Otherwise, it was perfection in terms of results for Manchester United at home. Martins. Milner. Into the thicket of Manchester United red.
There's nowhere else to go.
Evra. Rodrigo Possebot. To use his passing skills. Not just angling it through for Duff. Martin's trying to give him an angle. Back for Gutierrez. Milner given the ball in a pretty isolated position as he was just a minute or so ago, but he's done well here, James Milner.
Now Rafaela's coming on.
Well, as I say, they're an intriguing prospect, the two of them.
Yeah.
This is Rafael da Silva. And Fraser Campbell comes off. Rafael did very well here against Juventus, a really lively showing. In last of the pre-season games. I think it's energy that Alex Ferguson is looking for in his use of the youngster. A great story, the twins. They're actually discovered by a United scout playing in a tournament in Hong Kong.
Way over to the right-hand side.
And Zogbia will attack Rafael da Silva now. And that's a haymaker of a challenge by Wes Brown booking.
That will be a booking, yeah. No arguments about that one.
10 minutes, and we were thinking, Andy, that Newcastle might be nervous here, but it might be Manchester United.
Well, I'm looking at where the free kick is. I'm looking at Edwin van der Sar. He doesn't have a cap on. That sun must be right in his eyes. You know, is it worth it? Look at that. You know, is it worth just hitting that? And you just don't know. You can bet that it's not in a great area for just chipping into the box. It's that straight. You know, make sure you follow it in. Hit the target if you can.
Milner gets the power, but didn't bring that element of unknown into the equation. Would Van der Sar have been able to see it? It is sunshine weather, but they'll be like that in Newcastle
December.
in January.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Along with the young ladies in the miniskirts. Here's Scholes. Colaccini not very far away. So, as he went to clear, Rooney made the challenge, as forwards are expected to do.
Well, it could always look worse than it seems us. I mean, he's quite clearly trying to block the ball. He hasn't aimed that tackle at the player.
I'll never forget Kevin Keegan leaning over that wall at Anfield when his Newcastle were going for the title and they lost one of the greatest, if not the greatest ever Premier League game. Very, very late on. 4-3 and all that.
I remember it well.
He wasn't quite so grey then, was he? Maybe that's the sort of game that made him grey.
But the big boys do have a habit of scoring late in games. That's why they win so much. And this is a dangerous spell that we're approaching now for Newcastle. 83 very good minutes for Kevin Keegan's side. But it's the next 7 that are going to define whether it's a very good day or not.
O'Shea. Zogbia gets the better of Rafael da Silva. Martin's going down a bit of a blind alley, and it's broken Manchester United's way. Scholes. Evra with more licence to attack now. O'Shea protecting him. Rooney. There must have been time when the ball was in flight that Shay Given's heart was beating a bit quicker.
Well, there was a time when he thought, I might have to deal with it. And the one thing he didn't want to do, I don't think, is give away a corner. So he just puts the hand up, feels where the crossbar is, makes up Mike Riley's mind in the end.
Given's 333rd Premier League game. He's played more than any other Newcastle player. He's had to wait a long time since February to get back in the Newcastle goal. A distinguished performance from the Republic of Ireland international. Evra, Colaccini brought in to stiffen the back line, and be a good start if they get a point here, and only one conceded. Here goes Martins. Just gone a little bit wide. Ferdinand will be relieved about that. And he's played it against Martins, but it's kept in by Gutierrez. Guthrie.
Oh, he gave him an awful ball there to Nicky Butt.
Scholes, Rooney wants it. And James Milner made up the ground.
You know, I do think Kevin Keegan touched on it, his interview with Jeff Fries at the beginning, that he felt this side had legs and pace about them. That's what he means in this 86th minute. Milner's able to track that far back and get a very big tackle in. But they don't want to get this stretched. I know what you're talking about. It's typical Newcastle, isn't it? And at the moment, when the game should be nice and tight for them, and the last thing Kevin Keegan, I don't think, wants to see is a game stretched the full length of the pitch.
Possible.
There's not a lot in there. And the United players look up.
O'Shea.
Targets, where are they? Who can I find?
But, without tempting fate for Newcastle, their shape's been good, their commitment's been terrific.
And that's what they forced United into late on, just that hopeful ball.
Never actually won a game here, Kevin Keegan, as a manager. And Smith, they're sitting behind him, who would have sure liked to crack at his old club again, but when he played here last year, he got sent off. Maybe the first sighting of Sir Alec tapping his watch.
No.
Keeping rest with Mike Riley. Rodrigo Possibot. 3 minutes and counting. To add some extra time to that. Drilled ball across by Vidic. Action on Brown's attempted ball into the box. A little bit stray from Guthrie, but he got away with it.
But it's good. It wasn't just clubbed up the pitch, Martin. It was kept. You know, so often you see teams come to grounds like this and they're holding on a little bit. They just club it up the pitch, give possession away, but no. Happy to keep it.
Well, deja vu maybe for Manchester United. A year ago, they started with a penalty shootout success in the Community Shield and then drew their first home game in the Premier League. It's the start of a long and very successful journey in home and abroad. Ferdinand. Jumping in.
Yeah, Paul Scholes. Good climb and a good header from Taylor, though. Damien Duff recognised that, gave him a big hug, as if to say well done.
Well, much will be made about Cristiano Ronaldo's absence, Carlos Tevez withdrawal, family problems. But Newcastle can counter with, hang on, where was Michael Owen? Where was Ralph Viduka? So, there's two sides to that story.
I mean, it's opening day. That we mustn't forget. And as United showed last season, even in the open 3 games, you shouldn't read too much into it. Now, Wayne Rooney, a little bit of dissent there.
A disrespectful moment. Born out of the frustration that Manchester United are not winning here. Scholes. Rooney. Well, he had as much of a rant as he knew he might be allowed then. Wayne Rooney, Mike Riley getting in the way so soon after being booked for dissent. We've got 3 added minutes. Might be feeling a bit short-changed in that respect.
I'll have to say, full marks to Newcastle and the players. You don't see many, or at least I don't think, you don't see many Premier League games played, do you, with no substitutes coming on? It looks like Newcastle are going to finish with what they started.
They also started with a point. How are they going to finish with
Well,
that?
there you go. Yeah, same 11 that started this game.
O'Shea, Fletcher, Rooney, lovely run by Scholes, but it comes to Evra, who's
Wrong side.
wide of the mark.
The wrong side. Got to go across him. It's not easy, I know that. If you're going to miss it, and if you're going to miss it big, then miss it other side big. And at least you get a couple of players coming in that might get something on it. I think of Middlesbrough's second goal yesterday. Same thing, shot across goal, not even it, going anywhere near the target. Middle, little foot out, ball's in the back of the net. I didn't know what to expect, Martin, from Newcastle when I arrived here today. You know, they're a team that provides so much emotion over the years, have done. But I have to say, I've been very impressed the way they've gone about the job, the way they've been organised. Players that are in, Colaccini's done OK at the back. Been impressed by Gutierrez's work rate and his keenness to do a job for his team.
Well, it would be a great debut day if they can get through the last minute for Colaccini and Gutierrez. Taylor standing firm. Hooked on by Butt, who's worked his proverbial socks off in the cause against his beloved Manchester United today.
Well, there's no need for Newcastle to go very far up the pitch. Just get a position where you know you can contest a header like that. You know, don't be coming so far up the pitch that the ball can be played over the top.
30 seconds. Brown. And here's Raphael. Oh! Is it outside the area? It might just be.
Wow. Well, I know it ended up outside the area, but did it begin inside? Make your minds up here. Ooh. Yeah, just. I'm thinking just. You can see his way, his foot was planted. Now remember, on the line is in the box. And that was just outside. And isn't it fortunate for Newcastle that Mike Riley had an unobstructed view of that and was only about 10 yards away from it.
And Nicky Butt in particular.
Oh, yes.
And the boy, Rafael da Silva, nearly came up with a man's job. He might have still done it. Wayne Rooney can rifle in the free kick.
Well, this is it, last attempt. It would be much better, I think, with a left footer here. when you're good, it doesn't matter what side it is or what foot you're in it with.
Well, great players have great moments. Wayne Rooney beat the wall, but didn't find the target.
Yeah,
I'm thinking, surely that.
I'm thinking if it's gone round the wall, it surely can't go in. And it did go round the wall. And it looks like Newcastle have their point. And Newcastle United drop 2 to the 3 biggest rivals, you feel.
It has been about 2 Uniteds here today. And Newcastle delighted with what is an unexpected point, although I must say they were very buoyant in the team hotel yesterday evening and this morning. Frustration for Alec Ferguson, but he'll remember that Manchester United were held at home in their first Premier League fixture last year, and that didn't do too much harm in the end. Obafemi Martins might have made it even better for Newcastle when he gave them the lead, but with Stephen Taylor off the pitch, that was unlucky for Newcastle. Darren Fletcher nipped in for a very quick equaliser. Shay Given made some good saves, more in the first half, and Newcastle stood very firm in the second period, and such an improvement on the 6 goals they shipped at Old Trafford in January. Manchester United won, Newcastle United won.
That the third of 3 Premier League games this afternoon. Aston Villa beat Manchester City by 4 goals to 2. 3 there in 7 minutes for Gabriel Agbonlahor, the first opening day hat-trick since Dion Dublin against Chelsea in 1997. And we watched Chelsea beat Portsmouth 4-0, a goal for Deco amongst those. Pompey Bottom at the top. The 4 goals that Chelsea scored today gives them the lead from Aston Villa. Bolton led at the start of the afternoon, down 2 places. Manchester United halfway. Might be that we've got more football Wednesday night. Scotland meet Northern Ireland at 7:45 on 1. Wales against Romania at 6 on 2. That's the under-21 team, and if Wales win that, they're through to the playoffs for the European Championships for the first time in their history. The senior team, their senior team, Wales meet Georgia at 8 at 2 on Sky Sports 2. It's available in high definition on HD2. Good afternoon for Shay Given and for Newcastle United. Might be an oversimplification to say that that's what life may have been like for Manchester United post-Ronaldo. We'll see what Dion Dublin and Jamie Redknapp think, but no question today, Newcastle certainly were united.